When we finally reached the base camp, or the camp where we're supposed to stay for the top night, it is in, I can't remember, 4,900 meters high. So we were above all the clouds and so on. Amazing. And the weather up there, the guide that told us, oh, it's so moist and it's foggy and we hope you're doing okay. And we were like, this is autumn in Denmark, this is normal. This is actually the kind of weather that we're used to. So that was good. So we're at the base camp and we are preparing for the top night, and they tell us that we should rest, have our dinner, and we should rest for some hours, try to get some sleep, and they would wake us up around midnight, give us some biscuits, and then we would start walking. And I couldn't see anything in the darkness already there. I was not as blind as I am today, but I was still quite night blind, or blind in the darkness. So I had this headlight and a flashlight, and I thought, oh well, I'm just gonna walk straight after the guide. In the evening, I felt the cold from the ground, and I was like, I know this is not good, because normally when I catch cold from the ground, sitting on the ground, my stomach won't be able to handle this. Yes, you're right. My stomach wasn't able to handle it. So I got a kind of Tanzania flu, which means that you have problems with your stomach. But anyway, we had to go uphill again to find Uhuru Peak so we can watch the sunrise at 5:30 or something like that. And we started climbing in the middle of the night along with all those other people who were there. It's like a highway when you are getting closer to the top, because all the paths leading up towards Uhuru Peak, they will meet at the base camp, and it's crazy. And in the middle of the night, even though I'm not able to see anything in the darkness, I could see all those headlights moving like little light bugs going upwards. You're probably wondering, but did you make it to the top? Because this is the important part. Did you make it to the top? And that is normally what we're striving for. We're striving, if you go on an adventure and decide to climb Kilimanjaro, the goal is to reach the top. So did I reach the top? So during the night, climbing towards Uhuru Peak, I started feeling my stomach going, and embarrassing, I admit it, because this is not the most embarrassing thing I think I have done, but I had to go. So I found a big rock and I tried to hide behind it and do whatever I had to do, showing my clear white in the moonlight to all those people who were climbing up the mountain. Maybe they couldn't see me, maybe they could, I have no idea. And I was shivering. My blood sugar levels, they were like heading for the ground, and I was trying to reach the top. And try to climb again, eat some sugar, try to climb again, had to go again and again and again, and eat some more. And at one point, 5,400 meters, it was 495 meters from the top in a straight line. They told me, it's not safe for you to continue. And I was like, what? No. I'm aiming for the top. I'm going to the top of Kilimanjaro. I mean, that's why I'm here, so not safe? I don't care, I have to go up. And they told me, you have to go down. It's not safe for you to continue. You have no energy left. I was like, but I'm strong and yes, but your body is sick. There's something wrong in your body. That terrified me, because imagine you have put yourself in a situation where you have the Tanzania stomach flu on the way in the middle of the night up a mountain, climbing up some rocks, with a highway of people climbing the same way, and they tell you to go down in the darkness, but you cannot see anything in the darkness because you're blind in the darkness. Would you rather climb to the top, or would you go down? It took all my guts to climb down. I had a guide who helped me, and the co-guide, he went with Anders towards the top. It took all my guts and all my will to go pole style, like slow pole style, down that mountain in the darkness. And I was using the walking sticks. I was really searching, okay, how steep is this? Then I was going down. And then how steep is this? Sitting down on my bum and then going further down. To me, once again, I was mentally unstable. I put myself in a position where no one else would put themselves. And it's another defeat. It's another defeat that I didn't make it to the top of Kilimanjaro. That's at least my first thought about it. Yes, I don't think I cried on my way down, and I saw the sunset. It was beautiful, but it wasn't from the top of Kilimanjaro. And when I came down, I lay down in the tent and I relaxed a bit, and I was so angry with myself. And I was about to tell the guide, okay, let's do this again tomorrow, because tomorrow my stomach will be much better. And yes, and then I think only 2 hours, maybe 3 hours afterwards, suddenly Anders, he was like, hey. I was like, did you already come down, or did you make it to the top, or what happened here? So what happened after I left or turned around and I had to climb all the way down again in the darkness, going beyond pole slow. The co-guide, he had looked at Anders and told him, shall we go porter style? And he was like, okay, let's go porter style. So they have actually ran up to Uhuru Peak. And Anders, he was so, he couldn't even remember who took the picture of him at the top of Kilimanjaro, if it was a guide or a tourist or a man or a woman. He couldn't, you can see it actually in his face. And then he took this stone from the top of Kilimanjaro to me, and told me it was a courtesy to those who didn't make it to the top. So I still have that stone, and but I was both grateful that he brought it to me, and at the same time I was still so angry with myself. And I was like, thank you, and trying to hide my tears. Yes. Then he had a short rest, and we had to continue going down to the last camp for the last night before we were transferred back to the hotel or to the lodge. And that way, like, it wasn't bad enough going down that mountain in the darkness. My knee started to hurt. I have an old runner's knee, and it was difficult to walk because you're kind of sliding and I couldn't really see what was going on. And I was so angry and I was about to cry on the way down Kilimanjaro. And they have these, if people they get altitude sickness, they have these kind of old hospital beds, but then they put on bicycle wheels and then they can run with you down. And I was like, okay, should I tell them they should run me down, or should I? Don't you quit! Don't you quit! That was going on in my head. My knee hurt. Oh no, I don't want to do this. And it's, oh, why didn't I make it to the top? And I don't want to do this. Why do I put myself in this situation? I was so angry. And all you could see from the outside was like stone face, just walking down. So finally we made it to the last camp and the last night. And it was okay because we had a good night's sleep, and then the day after we took the last of the trip down and had a transfer back to Moshi Town. Rethinking and retrospective, this whole thing about top of Kilimanjaro, I realized that it wasn't even the goal for me, because I did something much greater to me, for me, than reaching the top of Kilimanjaro. I was able to turn around in the middle of the night, climbing down a mountain in complete darkness where I couldn't even see anything. And it's not more than some months, half a year ago, since they told me for the first time there's something wrong with your eyes, and then only some months before they told me that I would be blind within 5 to 30 years. So being able to overcome the fear of climbing down a mountain, to me, it is a much greater achievement than reaching the top of Kilimanjaro. That's at least to me. So this was also one of the keystones that made me realize that it might not be the fact that I will be blind or that I'm losing my vision. It is the fact, how am I choosing my path and my way towards whatever will happen. So if I will be devastated, it's okay. If I am depressed, it's also okay, because this is really, really tough news to learn that you will lose your vision and be blind. But it is what I am deciding to grant from this. Will I go back home, be a couch potato, maybe even do some self-medication and feel sorry for myself? Or will I actually try to climb down that mountain in the darkness, which I'm afraid of? So if I can do it, literally speaking, on Mount Kilimanjaro, I might be able to do something similar when I come back home. So that thing and that thought, combined with the fact that I'm always pushing myself even further to go a step backwards and then analyze the situation again, those two things were the reason why I came back from this holiday with another whole other mindset that the psychiatrist was amazed about, and that changed my my whole behavior and my whole perception of the situation of me following the program of the newly blinds. And I came back proud of doing what I was the most scared of, instead of feeling defeated as I did in the first place for not reaching the top, but proud because I conquered the biggest fear I had on that mountain. What did I learn from this episode? First of all, conquering my fear, an amazing achievement, and I'm proud of it, even though I didn't make it to Hudu Peak. But it's not important. Important thing is I was able to do what I thought was impossible, climbing down that mountain. Second of all, coming back to Moshi Town and walking around for sightseeing, I realized that it put things in a right perspective for me, because realizing that there are people in Africa who has it much worse than we do in the West. There were also people at the program I was following for the newly blind who has it way worse than me. We're in the same position where we're losing our vision, or some of them were even blind or had multiple handicaps. But I was in a position where I saw the opportunity of creating something different from me than what I saw at the program. And that was also a motivation for me for going out there on the time after when I went there, thinking that I would take whichever learning and tools they could give me, and then I would simply move on. Because if you don't push yourself, you're not gonna move forward. That was another positive thing of this extreme trip. How can you relate to this? First of all, my family is amazing. I'm being supported by my husband. He's willing to letting me travel for 10 days, taking care of our son while he's still doing a full-time career job, just for me to go out there realizing myself. Second of all, not everybody is in a financial position where they can just book a trip to Kilimanjaro because they want an adventure. But it doesn't have to be like Kilimanjaro, and it doesn't have to be something that will take 10 days out of your life away from your family. This could be small episodes, like if you're scared of heights, try to challenge yourself, crossing a bridge close to the edge, go skydiving. It might be you're afraid of spiders. Guess what? Go to a pet store, challenge yourself. If you're afraid of holding it, try to go closer to the terraria where they're kept. It could be anything, as long as you're willing to face your fear and challenge yourself, and you're willing and has decided that you actually want to move on, you want to move forward. If you're not in life, if you're not pushing yourself, we will not move forward. It counts for everything. If you are obese, overweighted somehow, if you're not willing to do an effort for losing weight, I mean, no one's gonna do it for you. If you feel like a couch potato and, oh, I want muscles, I want to be in good shape, no one can do it for you except for yourself. If you have an addiction, gambling, drugs, alcohol, whatever, the first one to take the decision and to help you is you. So even I was in a devastated point in my life, with so many questions and so many things in my head, feeling depressed and vulnerable, I put myself in a situation where I was still able to push through. And I felt defeated while it was going on, But afterwards, when I tried to rethink what was actually going on that trip and how did I react to certain episodes, I realized that I achieved something much greater and which no one else but me could give to me. So thank you, me. It probably sounds easy to challenge yourself. And I think I'm not born that way. It has taken many years. I have always been challenged in life. And sometimes I'm able to challenge myself even more, so that the challenges life gives me and throws at me, they don't seem so overwhelming. If you are raised in a loving, caring family, had a nice childhood, and didn't have any problems in school, and the career is going, and suddenly you're facing obstacles on your way, it might be harder for you to deal with the problems that life throws at you. But then you should simply think back and think, I have been a privileged person so far in my life. Because one thing is certain, we all get hit by some BS in our lives. The question is, how are we dealing with it, and how much is actually going on at the same time in our lives? And the only one who can make this better for you is yourself. That's it for now. I hope you appreciated my story. Maybe you could relate to some of it. Maybe you just think I'm crazy. I don't know. But I hope that you found it motivational and inspirational. And don't be afraid of challenging yourself. You don't have to put yourself in an extreme position as I did on Kilimanjaro. But little things, they also count, because it will help you move on when things they get tough. And if you're watching this, please leave a message down below. From where in the world are you watching, and did you like the video? Because it will make my day. It's the purpose of this vlog, of the minimal story. It's to reach out to whoever might need it. This is the Karma Sans Frontières. And if I can help anybody out there move on, push themselves, be an inspiration, I have fulfilled my purpose with the minimal story. Thanks for watching. Bye.